Welcome back to the weekly Torah portion. This is Portion-Beshalach, and please like the channel. Please give it a thumbs up. Share it with all your friends. I'd like to give 1,000 people who are subscribers to this channel. Thank you so much. Okay, so in Portion-Beshalach, what I want to focus on is man, the heavenly bread that we got to eat in the 40 years in the desert that we were there. And what happened was, very simply, cutting through everything, what happened was a month later after their departure from Egypt, they are asking, not in a very nice manner, but they're asking Moshe for food, because they're saying we're running out of food. We only took a certain amount from Mitzrayim, and this is running out, so now we need to have some food. And since you're the guy who brought us out, we want you to take care of this. Okay, fine. So Moshe says, you're coming to the wrong person. You have to talk to God. God is the one who did this, but okay, I'll represent. So, but you have to understand this, all God. It's not me. I didn't take you out of Egypt. My brother didn't take you out of Egypt. Hashem took you out of Egypt. Hashem used us to do it, but nonetheless, we're not the focus of your problems here. So he goes to Hashem with this, and Hashem says, I hear what they want. And he continues, and he says, Vayomer Hashem el Moshe. So Hashem says to Moshe, I'm going to rain down bread from heaven. And the nation is going to go out and collect it daily. What's the purpose of daily? To know whether or not they're going to go on walk in my mitzvah or not. Are they going to do my mitzvah? What mitzvah are we talking about? Rashi said right away, we're not talking about all the Torah mitzvot. That would be a nice thing to say, but it's not that. What we're saying is, im yishmaru mitzvot atuluyo bo. God is testing us to to ensure that we are going to follow the mitzvot specifically with man. And what are those mitzvot? One is l'tatiru menu, that you shouldn't leave anything over from one day to the next. You eat everything up. You don't have to worry it's going to come down the next day. I'll give you more food. But right now you finish off what's on the plate. Okay, the clean plate club, if you will. I'm going to give it to you. And trust me, God says, trust me, I'm going to give it to you every single day in the same manner. And you don't have to worry about it. It's going to come. Now, think about that. Here, what do we all do? We all have savings accounts. We all we stock up our refrigerators and our cupboards with all the food so that we have plenty of food. We'll never run out. Okay? And Hashem is saying, no, I want you to take what I'm giving you. You go out and you take the amount that you need, not more than you need, but I'm tell you what you need, which is an omer, whatever that amount is for each person and in your family, and that's all you have to take, and you'll be good. And of course, you get the quail at night, so you're all good. You have the bread, you have the meat, everything is good. All you have to do is trust me. I'm going to give it to you every day, with the exception, as Rashi continues, but they shouldn't go on Shabbos to collect, because Shabbos, nothing's coming down. I'm going to give you a double portion on Friday, so you have enough for Friday and Shabbat. Of course, Yom Tov would be part of that. Any other time would be that we wouldn't go out, be part of that. But that was really the test that Hashem was saying. He wanted us to learn reliance upon Hashem, understand that everything comes from Hashem, not from people, not from anybody else. You know, it's an interesting verse we say every single day, that in our tefillah, in our davening, that we say that you trust only in Hashem, not in man, because man makes plans, but he's here one day, gone the next. It doesn't work. We can't rely upon a human because they can't guarantee anything, unlike God, who guarantees everything. So God is saying to us, through Moses at this point, and he's going to bring down, doesn't just promise it, but actually does it, unlike other people who promise things and then never deliver. But he's saying that I'm going to give you bread, and it's going to rain down, and you're going to have it. And what you have to do is you have to go out and collect it. It's not going to magically come to you. It's coming to come to your tent or near your tent, as the Midrash says, depending on how much emunah you had and how much trust you had in God, would decide how close it would be to your tent. But nonetheless, all you have to do is go out and collect what you had to collect. Now, the truth is, we know that they made mistakes. One is that some people collected a little, some people collected a lot. In the end, the miracle was that everybody had what they needed. The other thing is, you had Datan and Aviram who left it over. They challenged. They wanted to see, is it really going to ruin it or not? Unlike other people who just left it over because they couldn't finish it. Not everybody can have that much food, I guess. So if you left it over because you just couldn't finish it, okay, so you're not going to be punished. But if you're leaving it over to prove that is going to get wormy or something is going to happen to it, that was why Moshe got angry. Why are you testing God? Why do you cause them to test God? And then, of course, the last one was when they went out on Shabbos. Again, Datan and Aviram wanted to prove that this is not miraculous. It's coming down every single time. Bottom line, I don't know why they had to test it. When you would see bread or food raining down from heaven and landing, I would think that that should be enough proof that that's not coming from something else. You're in the middle of a desert. You're in the wilderness. It wasn't there yesterday. So how did that suddenly happen? So I would think that they wouldn't have to test that. But once again, people are stubborn. They had to prove things left and right. They have to see it. And they made those mistakes. So much so that Hashem says, why are you constantly fighting with me? Why don't you trust me? And he includes Moshe with that because Moshe didn't lay the plan out. So we're seeing two things. One is that Moshe didn't explain to the people what's going to happen. They had to come back on Friday, not on Friday when they had the double portion, to say why we have double portion. We were getting every day, and so we have double portion. So then he has, Hashem said, this is what you do on Shabbos, and so on and so forth. So it comes to that. So even Hashem says to Moshe that you could have told him all ahead. So the fact that you didn't makes the whole question, and then you don't want that. You want to lay everything out. That was what Moshe would learn from that. But really what we're learning from the whole story is to trust Hashem implicitly. That if Hashem says we have to do things, we should do it. And so much so, he says at the very end of this whole episode that he tells Moshe to put away an omer full, and that should be with the Aron. When the Aron comes, you're going to keep with the Aron so people can see it. Why? So that in the future, when people say, I have to work, you can bring out the Omer and show them like Jeremiah did. He showed it. He said, you should learn Torah. And they said, if we learn Torah, so what's going to happen? Who's going to do the fields? How are we going to make money? How are we going to put from the table? So he brings out the Omer of manna and he says to them, you see this food? You see this? Just as Hashem fed us for 40 years in the desert, so he can feed you too. Trust Hashem. Make Torah your main thing. Okay, you're going to go to work, you have to go to work. Again, we had to walk out of our tent in order to get the manna. We had to sometimes go a little further to get the man. Whatever the case is going to be, we had to do something. That was the ishtadlus, but that was our making the endeavor. We had to strive to do something. At the same time, the major thing we had to put into our mind was we have to trust Hashem. Hashem will take care of us. If we would have ever internalized that unto this very day, if we would internalize that message, our life would be much better off. We would have less headaches, less worrying about what's going to happen in the future. That's what the story of Man is teaching us. Please, again, like this channel. If you enjoyed what I said, like the channel. Even if you didn't enjoy it, subscribe to the channel. Maybe I'll get better. Thank you.